Hello everybody and welcome back to For Real. Today Jeremy's going to take you on an afternoon ride to complete a couple of errands while I talk to you about what's been happening in the news lately. He's also got some maps that show whereabouts he is on his ride because a couple of people have said that they would find that interesting and useful to know whereabouts he is. And the two errands that he's going to run, the first one is to Villa Pumpkin, which is quite close to where we live. And Villa Pumpkin is also where my hairdresser is, and his partner's name is Pumpkin, that's why it's called Villa Pumpkin. But a mutual friend of ours has a duck farm just outside of Siem Reap, and she has just started selling the eggs from the ducks because she got them as ducklings and they've only just started to lay consistently, and at the moment she's charging $1 for 12 duck eggs. So Jeremy's gone to pick up some of those from Villa Pumpkin. And the second stop on his trip is to go to Pom, which is a bar over on Wat Damnak side of the river. And the reason he's going there is to pick up some vouchers that we won in a charity auction that was run quite recently. So the first piece of news is to do with deaths from COVID-19 here in Cambodia. Unfortunately, we've started to see some people dying from COVID, and the total at the moment is 8 deaths. So some of those have been older people, so people over 60, over 70, but most recently 2 people died. One was 38 and the other was 43, I think. So it's certainly not discriminating against younger people, and we're seeing more and more people still becoming infected due to the February 20 incident. At the moment, the bulk of the cases are still being discovered in Kandal province and in Phnom Penh. There's a sprinkling of other cases in other provinces around the country, but by and large, most of them are in those 2 places. Every morning, the Ministry of Health releases the stats for the cases that have been discovered the day before and the number of deaths and any other relevant information. And that can come through any time from sort of 7:30 till 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. It just depends, I guess, how certain they are of the figures and the testing that they need to do. So all of the news outlets kind of wait until that official update comes through from the Ministry of Health, and then they publish against that. But the problem is that Khmer Times has recently got itself some insider information at the Ministry of Health, and they've started releasing the figures ahead of the official announcement. So they're attracting a fair bit of scorn about that. But it's interesting to see the lengths that they're going to get the scoop on what they perceive to be the news of the day. Yesterday, we also saw a case of a foreigner behaving very badly in Phnom Penh. So the headline is, "Police forced to move in when foreigner refuses to test for COVID-19. So this guy was living in an apartment building in Phnom Penh, and I think they'd found some cases there or something, but he had a standoff and refused to be tested for many hours. I think it was from that night until the next morning, refused to go in and have testing. But then police reinforcements were sent, and eventually he submitted. It says, after a period of negotiation, the foreigner eventually consented to submit himself for health checks and was taken away in an ambulance. So it's just an example of people doing stuff that they shouldn't and not respecting the law of the country that they're living in. It's a real shame when you see things like that, because it does reflect badly on all of the foreigners that are living here, even though it's obviously the behaviour of one person. Due to the number of cases in Phnom Penh and 3 other provinces, there's been a ruling that people in those provinces have to wear masks whenever they leave the house. And I think that's kind of good because it takes away any ambiguity or any kind of, lack of certainty about where you're supposed to wear them and where you're not. So just if you leave the house in Phnom Penh and 3 other provinces, Sihanoukville, Kandal and Siem Reap, you must wear a mask when you leave the house. So good news for everyone there, I think. And the fine, if you don't, is between $50 and $250. I'm not sure how they determine where you fit in that scale, but at least $50 will be your fine if you're caught without a mask. What's the update with vaccines, you might be wondering? So just recently, yesterday in fact, I think they started vaccinating people over the age of 60 with the AstraZeneca, but unfortunately for everyone outside of the capital, it's only in Phnom Penh that that's happening at the moment, as far as I can tell. With regards to the other vaccines, so we've got the Sinopharm and the Sinovac in play at the moment. Sinopharm is the one that China has been donating to Cambodia, and on the 31st of March, another 700,000 doses of that will arrive. But there's also the Sinovac, and that's a different one because Cambodia has actually purchased that one from China, and those are due to arrive this morning actually. And there's plans in play to purchase, in addition to that 1.5 million, another 4 million doses from China. When they say doses, I'm not sure whether they mean that 4 million doses is actually 2 million people vaccinated because of the double vaccination that has to occur, or whether 4 million is actually counting that. So difficult to say and not sure there. Cambodia's population is between 16 and 17 million, depending on what record you look at. So it's still a long way short of getting a decent number of the population vaccinated, but definitely steps in the right direction. I noticed a tweet this morning about some people that have been arrested. They have been detained because they asked people to sign a petition asking the Prime Minister to reduce their electricity, house rental, gasoline and bank interest for 3 months. So I didn't realise that that could get you arrested, but it seems that it can. You have to be very careful what you say and do in this country, and we have to remember that we're not in our home country and we don't have the same protections and freedoms that we would have there. I think the cases of COVID in Siem Reap are stable at the moment. I haven't heard of any new cases being identified. Those areas where the people were found with COVID are still in lockdown. I think they've been told it's for 14 days, but I'm not sure. So those areas are north of the highway and west of the road out to the Angkor temple. So if you're wondering what kind of geographical area is affected, it's a quadrant of Siem Reap that doesn't have a lot of foreigners living in it, but there are some, and there is one guy that's been putting out daily updates on YouTube about his experience, so you can check that out if you're interested. We'll put a link below. What other updates do we have? I'm not sure whether I talked about the Angkor pass on any of the previous videos, but I used to have a 6-month pass that cost $200, and that meant that I could go and visit the temples or anywhere in the archaeological park in that 6-month period. And that was something that was initiated due to the downturn in tourism as a result of COVID. But the good news for people that are here now is that that 6-month period has been doubled to 12 months, so you can actually visit the archaeological park as many times as you care to in a 12-month period for the bargain price of $200. I think that's wonderful for people that are here, and I know that a lot of the foreigners that are living here have taken advantage of that. Given that gyms and things have closed and the roads in the city are so awful at the moment, people are using the archaeological park as a place to exercise, like a place to go cycling and running and things like that. I've been doing my running from here and I've been wearing a mask for the last 3 times that I've gone out. And yeah, it's very, very unpleasant because we're coming into the hot season and the weather is just nasty. So yeah, I think it would be much more pleasant doing that out in the archaeological park. Anyway, I think I'll leave this voiceover commentary here. The video actually goes for quite a bit longer, so if you want to just hang around and see the rest of the ride that Jeremy's on without the voiceover, that's absolutely fine. If you want to end up here, that's fine too. Thanks as always for watching. Thanks for the people that have subscribed. It means a lot to us, and the channel's just going so well at the moment, better than our expectations, and we're really grateful to everyone who's helped with that. Don't forget to check out the links below. There's links to our social media, all sorts of different things, links to all of the channels that we follow, both within Cambodia and elsewhere. If you're after some entertainment and some different things, you might find something of interest down there. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to. If not, that's also fine. Suggestions that we try to incorporate, please keep them coming, as it helps to make our content more engaging and more appropriate to our audience. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.